So, I had a thought. There was a post I got on Facebook earlier about the difference between now and then, quote unquote. Usually, that phrase is used in reference to the difference between 100 years ago and now, which is, if you think about it, not that much time. But it's taken that little amount of time to completely pervert our social standards and structure. What that means, or what I'm trying to say, I should say, is 100 years ago. Now, keep in mind, I am an armchair historian, in that I have no formal training or schooling in the matter. But the way things were done has always intrigued me, baffled me, and driven me to the point where I will hunt out whatever I can, sometimes unsuccessfully, truth be told, on how ... was done. This is kind of a simpleton breakdown of what I've gleaned in the last 30, 40 years. 100 years ago, farriers would shoe your horses. The blacksmiths would make tools, nails, hinges. Leather crafters of different varying types would make sheaths for tools to protect them. Shoes to protect your feet. Saddles, saddlebags. Weavers would make blankets, curtains, clothing, stockings, depending on the era, of course. You would have people who made clay porcelain. You'd have glass blowers, people who made windows. Yeah, that was a career. Now you just have some factory punching the fuckers out. You can always tell when you found an actual original glass window, because technically, apparently, glass is not solid but liquid. If you see an old window in a building, if it's survived, you'll see ripples as it's slowly sagging. I mean, very slowly, of course, hundreds of years. But you had different kind of farmers. You had those who grew grain, those who grew fruit or vegetables, or both. You had those who raised livestock, sometimes specified in one area, sometimes branching out as many as they could. Sometimes they worked that into a personal little ecology, actually. Sometimes it's possible and it works. Depends on the region, depends on the motivation and inspiration of the person in question. You had people who would eventually branch out and cook specialty items like pastries, or open up an inn, a tavern, offering food and or spirits, or just beer. These were all aspects of a social structure. They were, what's the word I'm looking for? I blanked. Shit. Cranial flatulence. They worked in a cohesive manner, and that was the social structure. And we're talking about a town, any town, 100 years ago. 100 years. Even by the Bible's reckoning, it's not much time. What we have now is it's not even remotely the same. The language is different. The view of the world, the view of ourselves, the view of what we are worth has been completely bastardized based on a standard of progress for the sake of progress. And for the record, progress for the sake of progress is the ideology of the cancer cell. Just saying. I'm a craftsman. I hold no illusions of making it rich doing this. Matter of fact, I hardly ever make sales at all. When I do, more often than not, it's basically enough to cover the next tools I need. But that's not why I do it. I do it to put shoes on the feet of me and my family. I do it so that we can have what we would need on our person. You know, for me, it's that monster of a jacket back there. Yeah, it's Mad Max, it's post-apo with really weird hints of Roman gladiator fucking, or not gladiator, but centurion armor hints and whatnot. It's all cute and dandy. Its actual purpose is it carries a lot of the equipment I would expect to have on me when traveling. From flint and steel to water filtration and storage. Hell, I even have pockets for electronics. And this is from someone who used to be a complete Luddite about 10 years ago. Here I am on a smartphone. I know. But, look up an old trade. Doesn't matter what one. It really doesn't. Because they're dying off fast. I mean, some trades are dying off so bad, you're better off finding an idiot who knows something about it than nothing at all. Part of what inspires this is some revelations that Helen gave Michelle and I about how the school system is. The school system here in Allen Park is the best in the area. Don't get me wrong. But that being said, they're still being trained, our children are still being trained to believe that the only society worth working in or for or with or whatever is that embraces a complete disposable mentality, including people. Our lifespan, is short enough as it is. That we don't need some asshole, plural, dictating that we're disposable too. And that the old trades and the old crafts that were actually examples still exist of hundreds and thousands of years later. I mean, you're not going to find a smartphone 100 years from now. You know, that's 100 years old. It's just not going to happen. Laptop? No. Hell, most of these cars. Nope. Everything has been shifted and perverted to a disposable standard. I guess I'm rambling. Long message short. Don't be disposable. Have the best day you can. Cheers.